Okay, so we're gonna stop that.
You ready for us?
Ready. So we have somebody that's on the commission, that's teleconferencing in, Jane Cohen. And so what we need to do is confirm that the teleconference location was properly noticed according to state law. And Jane, can you please answer? Okay, was that a shaking of the head?
Yeah,
Okay.
I saw it.
And is the teleconference location accessible to members of the public? Is she chatting? Yeah,
She can hear.
can you hear me, Jane?
Hey, Jane, can you hear us? I don't think it was a shaking of the head.
No, I don't think so.
Just fixing her hair.
Jane, can you hear us?
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
now we can.
Okay, so you answered the first question. Hello. Teleconference location is properly noticed according to state law, yes or no? Can you answer that, Jane? So Jane, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. I need you to respond. Do you understand?
Can you speak louder, please?
All right. Can you hear me now? All right. 3 questions, which I need your responses to these questions. Was the teleconference location properly noticed according to state law? Did you follow regarding the location or listening and joining in on this conference call? Yes or no?
Can you hear her, Jane?
No, can't hear it. Can you use a microphone?
I am using a microphone. Can you turn your computer up, please?
What's the
Might
first?
be, I think it might be Jane's audio because I can hear you.
Yeah, I think it's.
My audio, you can hear me though when I speak, right?
Yes.
I think that's a mean.
Try the first question again.
Was the teleconference location properly noticed according to state law?
This is ancient.
I can't hear it.
It's because reflection. You might talk without you.
Wants to email questions to Jane, or we can hold them up, or maybe if I read them, maybe she can hear me, I don't know.
I think that'd be
Yeah,
better.
it's some kind of frequency voice. Okay, it's these ones, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, Jane, I'm gonna try on this side.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Jane, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm gonna use my summer camp voice. Was the teleconference location properly noticed according to state law?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Is the teleconference location accessible to members of the public?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anyone present in the teleconference location besides the commission member?
Just a brown hairy thing with 4 legs. Otherwise,
Okay.
no.
Okay, I think Jane has answered those questions.
Thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you, Jane.
So, we are open for public comment and we have 2 residents that would like to speak. And currently these are items that are not on the agenda. First one I have from Art Whipple of Resilient House Outposts.
Do I have the microphone or?
Great idea.
You forgot, did you guys do roll call? I think we need to do both. We need to call the meeting to order and establish a quorum.
Yeah.
Do the pledge of allegiance, then we'll do the public.
Okay, I was sorry about that.
That is okay.
All right, I call the meeting to order. Art, if you don't mind waiting there for just a minute. Bridget, can you
Do roll call.
establish quorum, please.
Yes, I can. So Commissioner Basigi?
Here.
Okay. Commissioner Gallagher Thompson? Here. Okay. Commissioner Trapno? Here. Okay. Chair Cohen? Chair Cohen,
Here,
perfect. Commissioner Buckles?
Here.
All right. Vice Chair Olson
Here,
and Commissioner Dixon? Yes. Okay, we have a quorum.
wonderful, and we stand for the pledge
Oh.
of allegiance.
You know what, just one quick thing before we do the Pledge of Allegiance regarding quorum. We just want to make sure during this meeting that we are timely, and also if people leave on the commission before it's over and then we have less than the members here to vote, then then the meeting needs to end. So just wanted to mention that. And without further ado, we can do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We do have 5 items that we do want to vote on today, so we want to be sure we can be timely and pay attention here for all the discussion. So thank you, Art, for your attention.
Thank you for letting me speak today. I have a couple of quick items. Mostly what I'm trying to do is to make sure that Resilient Los Altos, who spends a lot of time figuring out how to take care of seniors, coordinates with you so that you're not surprised by anything we're doing. And you can tell us to stop if we're doing something you don't like. Item number 1, at Tuesday, last Tuesday's special, the study session, at one point, Council Member Fliger proposed that city staff set up a budget for 500 emergency kits. Mr. England, city manager, said that that part was the work of Los Altos, of Resilient Los Altos, and we're working with the city, and we are already supporting seniors. So one of the things I wanted to know is, do we know where this request come from? Did it come from the senior commission by any chance? Okay, all right. So I will work with Lisa. We did start, this is part of the things that we're doing. We did start working with this year's commission Compassion Week activity. So we will be doing that in October, which mostly the part that we do supports seniors in Los Altos with emergency supplies. That's the last 2 years. Second, one of the things you need to realize is that in the event of a significant emergency, the city, one of the planning assumptions for their emergency activities is that they will not be able to support citizens of the city for up to 7 days after a significant emergency occurred. So what's going to support seniors in this period are called VOADs, Volunteer Organizations Active in Disasters. Resilient Los Altos is a VOAD active in Los Altos. There are several dozen VOADs active in Santa Clara County. The one that is the overarching VOAD for this is CADRE, which stands for Collaborating Agencies Disaster Relief Effort in Silicon Valley. They're the official Santa Clara County VOAD. For many years, the Santa Clara County Office of Emergency Services had funded CADRE, and this year and next, apparently, money is no longer coming from FEMA, so that's not going to happen. So what CADRE was able to do was to get a grant from AmeriCorps, which in order to fulfill all the things for AmeriCorps, she needs 1,000 volunteers to spend it who are over 55 years old, who are willing to spend at least an hour doing some volunteer effort to make this go forward. So this is an opportunity for volunteers to be engaged in doing things that will support Santa Clara County's emergency response, because Los Altos is not unusual. Mountain View and Palo Alto all have the same idea that our 6 policemen and our 6 firemen are not going to be able to take care of 30,000 people, right? So I'd like to engage with you at some point, figure out how to get, to the extent that you're talking to seniors, we want to get them to sign up to spend at least an hour doing helping evacuate people, or working in translation services, or going to a drill, or pretty much anything like that that we can do. So we'd like to find a way to coordinate with Kaiser, with the commission, since you seem to have an access to a lot of senior folks. Real quick, third item, we're going to be doing an outreach program this year. We had a team that is going to be going door to door to seniors and talking about how to get prepared. So this is an outreach program that we're trying for the first time this year. Maybe we can expand it dramatically in the future. One of the things we're going to try and do is to work with the city so that we have some sort of a badge that this kid can carry, so he doesn't look like he's somebody just trying to scam the old people. And then just one last item. We are presenting at the senior lunch, which happens on September 10th, the day after the health fair. So hopefully we'll be engaged in both of those. The giveaways that we're going to be doing is, this is at least one of those items. You can just take care of, look, this is what we're doing for getting the plan for seniors. Okay, that's all I have. Any questions? Yes.
Where did you get the list of seniors that you could visit their homes?
So we don't have that list. We have the voter rolls and we have that sort of stuff, but we're basically going to be walking door to door to talk to people and say if they want to see us. They can obviously say, go away, but we hope they'll engage long enough to say, well, are you signed up for Alert SCC, and do you know Genesis? Do you know how to get out of your neighborhood if you need to?
So you would be at doors of people who are less than senior.
Yes, we're going to go through the community and but focusing hopefully on particularly on the ones that are need more support. You know, well, even the 55-year-olds can probably get out of there. It's the ones that are older than that that we're really going to be interested in.
I have perhaps a redundant question. Have you engaged with the CERT group as volunteers to do this, some of this work that you're describing?
With the church group?
CERT. Yes.
CERT.
Yeah.
CERT. Yes, we are, the Los Altos CERTs all are part of Resilient Los Altos. Yeah, about 125 of us are CERTs.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes,
You were looking for volunteers, senior volunteers.
yes.
What kind of training will they get?
Probably they're gonna walk in with the training that we want. So it's not so much training the volunteers as having them be volunteers. So we're going to be having them working in Compassion Week, for example, putting together hygiene kits and emergency kits for seniors, as an example. So to the extent they spend an hour working on that, they would. We have emergency documents that are in different language, or they're mostly all in English, and we need to get them into the threshold languages of Spanish, Tagalog, Japanese, Vietnamese, and I'm missing one, but there are 5 languages that really in Santa Clara County should be.
Amber.
Are you going to be having this kind of an assembly here? Then I can get volunteers.
Well, I don't, so we're planning at this point. We don't have any specific things. I know there's going to be a bunch of activities going on in when the Passion Week goes on, which is October 4th through 12th.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in and updating us.
Do we have his number?
Yes.
So,
We have it on the,
yeah,
Yes.
I want to say there's.
And anticipating you participating in September.
Yes.
Yes.
thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So now we have Kathleen Parker.
Yeah, from Friendly Voices.
Friendly Voice.
Yeah.
Which you have a handout also.
Yeah,
Yes.
you,
Thank you.
Please give the microphone.
sure. Not super great with it, but I'll try. Okay, my name is Kathleen Harder. Is that better? My name is Kathleen Harder, and I'm the outreach coordinator for Friendly Voices. We are a local nonprofit out of Menlo Park that is combating loneliness among seniors. Our founder, Laura Sturz, started the foundation and for the nonprofit in 2020 after the pandemic. And what we do is pretty simple, will seem simple, but it does take a lot of compassion and friendship, is we create one-on-one calls every week with seniors who might be feeling lonely and isolated. Our volunteers, we have over 90 volunteers. In 23 and 24, we made over 5,000 calls, outreach calls. Our calls are set up every week at a mutual time. The volunteers are HIPAA compliant, they're background checked, and they go through about a 3-hour training with Laura, like compassionate listening, what to listen for if there's a crisis, and so on. So we were awarded a grant from the El Camino Healthcare District, and we're combating this loneliness primarily in Sunnyvale, Mountain View, Los Altos, and other surrounding areas. So we're working with Stanford Hospital with their transitional care teams and the psychiatric team, their geriatric psychiatric team, there, Dr. Gallagher knows I've met her before. We're working with El Camino Hospital, Sutter Hospital, I'm missing one, Kaiser. So, and then local nursing homes, community centers, food drives, you know, loaves and dishes, etc. So, I mean, that's what we're doing, and I'm looking forward to partnering with the town and seeing how we can benefit from it.
We need to talk, I'm William Buckles, I'm the physician here. I have some, offers to you to speak at an event
Okay,
and would like to work with you.
that would be wonderful.
But there's a 30% increased mortality.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, loneliness affects seniors, well, actually just people in so many different ways. It's just, you know, depression, mortality rates go up and so on. So, and we're different. We're not a wellness check, like, we don't call in and we don't call, our senior or our buddies and make sure that they've taken their medicines or things like that. It's, you know, it's just strictly about companionship and friendship. And most of our seniors have been with us over, some of them have been with us almost 5 years since we found it and stuff, so.
Here's another perhaps trivial, maybe redundant question. Do you curate any solution for the seniors that might need it?
Do we create
Do you
solutions?
curate or facilitate?
I, like if they need help, like with a service or
Yeah,
something like
service
that.
or provider or some other form that do they come to you with, you know, as a part of the divulging their loneliness and problems, do they ask for help?
Yeah, some of them will. A lot of our referrals come from the hospitals and care teams, and we work a lot with the case managers and social workers on, like, you know, we haven't heard from somebody, like our volunteer placed a couple calls and we haven't heard back, and so we have kind of a partner in the healthcare industry that we work with to help do that. But yeah, we don't like to do referrals of like, this would be your best bet here or that, because we don't have enough experience with that, and we're primarily just trying to build friendships and stuff, but we won't leave them. We'll definitely help any way we can.
Very good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for your
contact
time.
information too, so that's wonderful. Thank you.
I will, I didn't get something. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much to our residents that came in and participated. We appreciate that. Now we will go to our items of minutes for approval for our April meeting. So everybody's had a chance to review those minutes. If anybody care to make a motion for approval of the minutes or changes? Approval, okay, the words on a second,
Yeah.
all right. Anybody opposed? We'll take a vote. Anybody
I abstain.
abstain? Okay, thank you very much. So we have one abstain and then we have 5 approved, 4 minutes to pass.
Yes,
See,
yes.
There we go, thank you. So now let's move on to our next, which is the senior health fair. And we move to the staff recommendations. We have 5 items which we're going to be voting on here tonight. And let's, the first one is to finalize the event title. So that way we can move forward with all the marketing and promotion of this event coming up. I would say, does anybody have any comments, recommendations? Yes.
So I attended the health fair that was held in Cupertino, in May, and it was called Live Well, Age Well. And it was terrific. It was, just an outstanding experience. And I thought it was a great title, Live Well, Age Well. I don't know if we can use the same title or perhaps a variation, slight variation of it, but it certainly captured what, I think what we hope to accomplish. And I don't see why we couldn't use it, they haven't copyrighted it or anything. And, what I loved about it, besides the title, was that they had the whole program on the back. So when you came in the door, you got the flyer, which had the basic information, but the entire program. So you didn't have to go, fiddling around or open on your phone or finding little sorts of paper or it should be here or there. It was all in one. And I thought, one as we were talking about it, that would be a thought for the marketing pairs to consider doing something similar. So that's my vote, Live Well, Age Well.
Thank you. All right, Dr. Buckles.
thank you, Doctor.
I've been, thinking about a long-term goal of optimal health span, that the rec department would want to promote.
And I wonder if that is
I wonder if that is a type of, endeavor that the health fair, by whatever name is chosen, would be an initial part. So I would like a name for the upcoming fair, to be in the context of ongoing, presentations to the community. It would be related to, health span, if you will. I don't have any other specific recommendations, other than promoting optimal health span, which is not going to be part of the title for the event.
Thank you very much.
I agree. I think the idea of, a long lifespan has sort of been replaced by the idea of living long isn't the objective, it's living healthy and long. So that your idea has that in it. I go maybe healthy lifespan as opposed to just healthy.
No, I like them all. I'm happy with whatever title you choose.
So it sounds like, Dr. Buckles, you're talking about a continuation of what the senior commission might offer through different speakers or different activities throughout the year, which would cover the optimum health span and longevity, rather
Yes.
than having it be for this particular.
Though, that health span idea, optimal health span, exhibition or program. I don't have any catchy title for it, though.
Expo?
Expo?
Expo idea.
I have another thought, and that is, it's never too late to feel great. That's kind of a catchy one, and then you could have the subtitle. The subtitle, live well, age well, or live well into your hundreds or something like that, you know, the longevity. So I kind of like that one, that was occurred to me.
Dr. Dolores, the only input I had about using the same title was that we are trying to establish our identity here. And if we start with a title that we can continue to use each year, then we'll have some repeated, people who will attend, or we'll have some kind of a repeated understanding of what our ideas are, or what our commission is trying to do for senior health. So not the same title as somebody else, but our own. It could be similar. I like optimum, healthy lifespan, optimal healthy lifespan. Or
I don't know what that means. I'll find it healthy.
do it, and then you know.
So it doesn't, it's ring.
That's fine. But we should give ourselves 3 minutes to finish this title vote.
Okay.
Can I make a suggestion? Just because when this flyer gets created, we're gonna get lots of calls, right? So we want something that is gonna be easy to
Yeah.
understand, just what is it? And so if you have something that, we had an open house, it's just something, because then it's also easy for the folks at the front to help promote. I think these are great, but just think
Yeah.
of it in the marketing.
That's a good
context.
point, very good point.
So far, the one I like is healthy lifespan. But there was another one, optimal healthy lifespan, or what was the other one?
Yeah, you could,
Oh, optimal health,
optimal health span. And that's gonna require too many, what the hell are you talking about? So,
Healthy and live long. So, I don't want to say any title.
the title of the book that I wrote was Live Longer, Live Larger. But, live longer, live healthy.
There's drugs to help you out.
Pardon?
Sorry.
This was not about abattoir.
Yeah.
Over here.
Something like this is very, very personal. What is a wonderful name to someone, to one of us, perhaps not be for the other. My sense is that this particular name has been essentially tried and true. It's through field testing. So my sense is, why not just go with that? I have no problem being a copycat, none whatsoever. As long as it really conveys the meaning that we're trying to do. In fact, I do agree with Bill here that I think what we want to do is, somewhat imply a sustained effort on our part and our part. Excuse me, can I finish? Okay. But anyway, so my sense is that I think, for lack of better option, or that better suggestion, I would be entirely content to go with this one. Which is this one you're pointing to? The one that
Live well, age well, yeah.
Jane, do you have any comments or suggestions? Okay, so I would say, having a general overview, such as something that's already worked, it covers those that might be 50 all the way to 90. And it isn't just specific, and we can, in the marketing, we can also add in titles such as optimum health span and longevity. Doesn't have to be the overall perching title, would be my thought. So you can also add in, it's never too late to feel great. That can be under what we're really trying to do. And as we have mentioned at our last meeting, we're covering 7 different topics, so trying to dementia, nutrition, exercise, sleep, socialization, caregiving, and public safety. So to cover all of that, the Live Well, Age Well, I think really is general enough, it can help cover it.
Okay, live well, age well, how many we want?
Wait, can I
Oh,
say
yes.
something?
They have sexual conscious.
Are there any other comments?
I have, going off the live well, age well, we could say live healthy, age healthy, and bring in the health more than is true so far.
I like that.
So we're not exactly copying or leveraging.
Anybody?
We could add the live well, age well, the Los Altos way.
No, but you have to have Los Altos Hills as well.
Okay. Live well,
I
age
think
well.
what we could do is have a subtext that essentially covers the locality. It doesn't have to be the part of it would be a subtext that somebody can pick up the flyer, can see it as a top subtext. Is a Los Altos space, Los Altos space.
Do we have any other comments?
I like it, live well, age well,
Can we
Los
follow up with a
Altos
question?
Hills.
Well, I think Liberal Age Well Health Expo would be my vote because it tells exactly what it is. It's, you know, it's an expo, you know, they're with speakers, you also have vendors, and so you have that already knowledge once we get that there.
Let's vote.
Any other comments? Jane? Okay, very good. Are we ready? Let's make a motion to vote on the title of Live Well, Age Well Health Expo.
I move to vote.
Okay,
A second.
I like it.
all right. All those raise your hand for
Aye.
the title?
Yes.
Okay. Any opposed? No opposition? All right, it is
We have a
voted
title.
unanimous.
What is our title?
Live Well, Age Well Health Expo.
And then maybe add something about.
That can be in the small print, something, right?
The only thing I would say without any city name is we want people from other cities to come, not just from Los Altos
Mhm.
or Los Altos Hills. Well, we want San Jose, Sunnyvale,
Will they come?
That's all part of markets and getting the word out. And I think that
social media.
social media, our contacts,
And you don't want it to think, oh, you have to be from those cities.
yes. Okay,
Okay.
all right.
How about sponsored by the city of Los Altos and Los Altos Hills? And the city of, I don't know, Los Altos.
That can easily be put in the marketing material, yes, but having the title that we can put across for, which is a segue to item number 2 of the marketing banner location, which we have 2 choices. A suggestion would be the San Antonio El Camino by Chef Choose up there, or along Lincoln Park. Open that up for discussion.
Can you please say that again?
Sure. San Antonio El Camino, we have so the city would be providing and printing up a banner which would go across the street. And the locations, 2 locations that would best reach those commuters. 2 choices would be Lincoln Park, which it is near, Main Street and Foothill, and so as you're going up north or south, you can see it. Or you have it at El Camino and San Antonio, which is near Chef Choose, and it's going across San Antonio, is that correct? So that way you're also getting El Camino, going north and south, and those folks going
But they can do
San
only one.
Antonio. You can only do one. All right, for comments, please, we'll take 5 minutes on
Yeah, I made that suggestion that we have it across Main Street because that's very visible to Los Altos, but it's already taken for that date. So we can get either the Foothill Expressway, you know, that big long fence,
That's Lincoln Park.
on Lincoln Park, it would be along that.
Right.
Or it would be, I guess, across San Antonio. So the San Antonio one gets more traffic.
It's on the corner in front of, like, above Chef Choose, doesn't
literally cross San
Okay,
Antonio.
so it's
Right.
a section
Yeah.
location, so if you're going down El Camino, you see.
It's, yeah, or San Antonio. Not El Camino? You don't see it from El Camino? One direction. South.
South, if you're heading south,
But
you're coming the other way.
You're going south on the first road.
Yeah, I mean, people go both ways.
I can.
Any other comments?
Why can't we have two?
Money. It's the budget.
Could we, I thought there was a budget for the health club.
There is, but there's other things to consider for the fair, so if you do that, then you take away from other parts.
Ads in the town crier,
Right. Cause there's gonna be other ways. to work it.
giveaways, the different things that the city will be providing.
So there's,
How
one,
much is the banner?
it can be up to between 500 to 700 for one, and so you could use, if you're spending all of that on those two banners, you're gonna take away from other things that we need for the fair. And just to factor in all the other marketing opportunities that are gonna cost us, like social media, we're gonna do ads in the town crier.
The speed of people on Foothill is faster than El Camino.
Okay.
There's more traffic going down Foothill. But I don't know if that would be as effective as a lot more foot traffic. And people who, there's a stoplight there, so they're gonna be looking at something. I would appreciate any other ideas on where people are gonna be most receptive to looking at this and possibly making a decision.
Jim, do you have a comment? If you don't, that's okay.
I'm okay with it. Again, this is very subjective. I really do frequent the downtown area a lot. I frequent the Camino route. I find both of these options quite viable, but I'm not the only one, so
You have a comment?
thank you.
So personally, I think the San Antonio would reach more residents that are not Los Altos.
Yeah.
And so that's, if we're wanting to outreach to Sunnyvale, outreach to Menlo or Palo Alto or Mountain View, I think placing it to San Antonio would be the optimal spot.
And in Los Altos, we have so many businesses, we can put paper ads in all the businesses, and that should cover it.
Any other comments? Or are you ready to vote? All right. Somebody want to make a motion to vote?
I make a motion that we take San Antonio banner.
Okay, does someone second?
Yes,
All right, and let's raise a hands of those to approve San Antonio location. Those that would prefer the Foothill. All right, Jane, did you vote?
Mm-mm.
So what, do you want San Antonio?
I can't hear every nuance of your words. I know you can hear me perfectly, but I can't hear you.
Do you have a vote for the banner either being at Lincoln Park or San Antonio or El Camino? So everyone who voted right now for San Antonio, El Camino. And then if there's opposed or interested in voting for Lincoln Park for the banner to be placed.
Oh, for the banner?
Yes.
So people voted already to have it San Antonio and,
So far, those that are in favor of the San Antonio El Camino location, that you can still vote for that. Or the second choice is Lincoln Park.
I like the San Antonio El Camino. I think it's more inclusive of Mountain View, of different communities that we want to bring forward to our health fair. And that's my perspective. If you have it at Lincoln Park, it's very Los Altos Hills only, and I just like to see it a little broader than that. I don't know what you're expecting.
Yeah, so you join everyone else's vote. Well done.
So the vote is
Unanimous.
unanimous at San Antonio. Thank you very much. Appreciate your input, Jane. All right, moving on to item number 3, providing feedback and direction on the giveaway.
Feedback and direction on.
Giveaway.
The giveaway.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, I recommended, I did look at all the options that were in the right price range. My recommendation was we can probably only do one, but maybe two. A keychain that goes around the wrist, because we were joking about, we mentioned, the question is always, where did I put my keys? So we can, one that they can have around the wrist.
okay. I know we've also had ideas of a bag that they then
Yeah,
can put everything
Maybe
in.
another one, or a notebook,
Dr.
pen.
Buckles?
My wife suggested having a raffle. So that people will sign in and be given a numbered ticket. And at various times, the people attending are gonna vary. But we can keep people motivated to be around during the times that the winning numbers are gonna be. As far as the item to be given, it can be a much more modest price. But since we would only be actually raffling off maybe 5 of them, that would be within a budget and within reason.
Anybody else have comments? So what I would also like to add is, since we're still working on vendors in which, who would be participating many times, I know at the Fall Expo that we had at the senior, the grant, there were a number of vendors that gave out bags. So I think if we can hold off for a month and secure the vendors and see if we can request them, or if they have the bag, so that way we're not putting money into something that will already be provided. And for them, it's advertising, we just have the names on.
But I wanted to add on that, I spoke with a few vendors whom I spoke with, and they said that they need more lead time to invest in bags. So at this point, they'll only bring whatever they have left over.
Sometime that's September.
Just as a point, the microphone is for Zoom, not for us in the room, so I can tell Jane was straining to hear you, so,
I see.
yeah, thank you.
Anybody else have
recording.
comments?
What the only, oh, sorry.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, I think it might be good to have some handouts as well. I was thinking of, assuming we get the bags, right? So by handouts, I mean, for example, the list of upcoming senior lunches, who the speakers are, when the lunches are, upcoming things that get the fall fling, right? I mean, informational items that we know about because we're tuned into it, but a lot of people don't, that I find, and they don't all get the town crier, receive the notices and so forth. So I think that we want to have that as part of our giveaway.
Good,
Oh, no, I think we need to decide, it's a little giveaway that we give everybody kind of sort of with the name of the event on it in some way. So if it was a pen, it could have the name, if it was the notebook, it could have the name. I'm not sure about what this thing for the key, as opposed to something that just a few people get. If we get a raffle.
I was thinking of a trifold all that information would be given and to people registered. So that is basically you're flooding the market.
So are we voting on the item or one versus? Raffle versus giveaway?
Well, I think for the raffle, that is one way to keep people there and keep them interested and have them have a raffle for the speakers. So if they come and listen to a speaker, it's a way to direct them and inspire them to go listen and then come back. So that could just be 5 items, and that would be a donation, or potentially a vendor might be able to supply.
May I just provide a little context? I think there's a couple things. So the giveaway is something to decide on, like, the keychain, or is it gonna be a bag or a notepad and pen? When you're talking about a raffle, that could potentially be something where you're looking, to businesses to sponsor something, or maybe the vendor wants to contribute something to a raffle. But I think for this particular item, do you have something you'd like to see as that is being handed out? So for example, when we did our open house, we had a bag for that event, and which had what the event was on it. So that's just the difference between the two. And so it sounds like a couple things have been mentioned.
Do you know the price?
Cost
They
of
have to
bag.
They have to be under a certain number, and I think it might be $4 or so.
They usually sell them in bulk. So I think first the idea would be, what type of giveaway is the commission interested in? Then we can look at what the prices are.
The only thing is that you could have both. If you have a raffle and you get vendors to contribute something. The only reason for the giveaway is there is a budget for it, and you need to say within
It looks like Jane has her hand up. Hey,
Thank you,
Jane,
Jane.
I do.
I see you got
I
your
was-
hand up.
Yes, I do. Let me shut it down, but I was wondering if one of the prizes or the main prize could be an offering of one of the classes that we hold.
Put that
Like
down.
out of maybe 5 classes, or they can choose among 5 classes. That's a good present because they have to pay for classes. Anyway,
Okay.
just an idea.
That's,
Nice
so,
idea.
so keeping with what Bridget was talking about, our giveaway from the senior commission to everybody who's coming. And I think having a logo, having the name of the event on something, so that way it has the city on it, has exactly what it is. And if it is a bag, then we have something that we give them and they would be reusable. Mhm.
If it's usually a shopping bag, it can be a durable, advertisement.
So with the budget, we'll figure out the budget and we can figure out how many we can purchase within that. budget. So it could be the first 100 that come, people that come.
Are we saying we're having a bag? I haven't heard that.
I think that's.
That's
I
what
don't
we're
know like
doing.
you,
That's
but
what we're
I just have to
discussing.
take another bag.
My wife would have the same sense for
So I don't
So
know
then-
if the other bag.
A thought could be, I don't know what the budget is for the giveaway, but it could be we spend a certain amount on so many bags and maybe another amount on keychains or wrist for keys, and that way the first 100 people get a bag, everybody else gets the wrist.
I have a process question. Do we have a budget subcommittee that decides how much money we have and what goes to what bucket? So we can make decisions
largely based on what that budget indicates for us, what line items it can support.
There-
Do we have that?
There is the budget, but
Okay.
then it depends. With this particular decision that you're all gonna make, then we'll see what the cost is and.
Wait, I mean, I can give you input because I've been working with Jamie on this.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
There is a budget. What I was saying about the amount per item isn't like we're gonna pay that much. However, we get the item, it has to fit within,
So-
we're expecting 100, maybe 200
Well,
people.
one question for you, do you know what the budget is?
I know roughly, and she gave me a list
Okay,
of items that fit the budget.
okay, all right.
So we couldn't.
So you pretty much answered my question. That means there is a budget and
Yes.
also the body of people that know what that line item is in that budget are. Is that true?
I don't know if budget is too strong, it's what they spent in the past. And assuming the number of people that might attend,
Okay,
being on the order of
You mean-
200.
but we have it in this, in some location, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Uh, She wants to say
So
something.
Jane has her hand up. too.
I'm gonna pass this on because I don't know.
Jane, thank you.
Is it my turn? You're talking about handing out, like the little tote bags to all the participants, everyone who comes? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yes,
so
yeah.
I have a comment about that. Two comments. The little green bags that were given out when the community center opened and for all their events as we were opening other aspects of it, they were fantastic. People loved them. The size was perfect and everything was great. And they're not as expensive as bigger bags. But I do want to point out, when I went to the Cupertino Fair a year ago, almost every single vendor gave out a big tote bag with their, blasted with their name and everything on the tote bag. So by the end of the thing, when you walked around, you ended up like having 15 big tote bags. And so, I'm just offering that up, that there's going to be a lot of tote bags. I'm sure they're going to do that again. So anyway, but if we're going to do tote bags, I think the smaller ones are special because the big ones, you get lost in them, but the little ones you can use for little things. I just think they're really great. People love them. Thank you.
Okay, so we need to move on. So we did talk about and giveaway bags, which the smaller one sounds like it's a good option, and keychains could be another option. Not having a budget, not knowing exactly how many, I think we could look into that and find out how much.
there was a list of possible items that fit the budget.
Right, but that wasn't presented to us and it was not given to us, so we don't have that. So I think we need to table that
Yeah.
discussion, bring it out for the next meeting, and by that time, we can have an idea of the cost of the smaller bags. How much how many we do want to purchase, consider having also keychains with the name and marketing. If it's gonna stay the same, we can use it the next year as well. So we don't need to vote on this at this time, we're just gonna be looking into more of the budget items and how much for the smaller bags and keychains. And we can do a report on that at the next meeting.
Can I make one last comment?
No,
Oh,
yes.
Yes, actually, I don't need to speak. I just wanted to make sure that the comment Jane made is made note of, because offering in class is really a good idea.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so.
Yes.
And that could be part of a.
So that, I think, that was separate than the giveaway, for the raffle, I think that's something the city at the table there, which that would be the classes that the Parks and Rec will be promoting at this particular event. That would be great ways to do giveaways for that.
So I just want to remind you that we do not have, I believe it's the July meeting, so we would be pushing this till August. And then that means probably like a month-ish
Okay.
timeframe. So my recommendation may be that if you decide, hey, we want a bag and a notepad, say, hey, Jamie, this is what we'd like ideally, can you do that? And see if she can work with the numbers.
But we don't have all the options that are supposed to be within that budget. So first you need to get presented that.
I mean, she's not here, but, talked about the wrist thing, the bag, the pen. I don't know if the pen and notebook, but it's certainly pen. Those were within the budget. So people really likely to be able to buy them. Probably not.
Okay. Bill?
I know that I use the notepads and they last a long time. So those are something that we can agree upon. That we would, depending upon later making, oh, let's do something else in addition. But the notepads would be a starter for sure.
So I make a motion that we do take a vote today, because I think we do need to get closure so we can move forward. And but I don't think it needs to be an either or. I think we can have multiple, things that we include in this idea of giveaway.
So let's make I made a motion to vote on giveaways, which we have the ability to talk about the bags, pens, potentially notebook, and the wristband, and it will then be determined what is given out within the budget that Jamie works with. Does that sounds good? Okay, so Lord, she made the motion. Do we have a second?
What the motion, could you?
To move forward with a giveaway, working with Jamie on pricing. So it becomes items within the budget, whether it be bags, notebook, pen, or wristband.
Second.
All right, thank you. And we'll take a vote. Everybody in favor of these items for giveaway, and I'll determine what the budget would be. All right, Jane?
But you can't hear me. Jane, we're voting?
In favor of a giveaway?
Yes. Yes. Okay, great.
So we have unanimous on that. Thank you very much. All right, provide feedback on the speaker. And so we've got the handout. We've got Commissioner Davenport Thompson. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said that we have two speakers confirmed, one confirmed and the other one is most likely. The one that's confirmed is Dr. Alicia Ascari, who will do the overview talk on healthy aging, preventing cognitive decline, something like that. She's working on the title. And the topic of family caregiving, building resilience in family caregivers. The person for that is an expert in her area as well. She works for the VA and she has to get permission, so that's pending. That's most likely that will happen. The other piece that I wanted to say about this is that Jamie has contacted, I believe it's both police and fire. I'm not 100% sure, I couldn't find my notes on that, but I believe it was both of them about in regards to safety issues, public safety issues. And both are agreeing to be vendors, which I believe we shared with you, and as well as giving a talk of some sort. So in the last meeting, I followed the outline that Amanda Who used for the Cupertino Health Fair. Of having the speaker commit to 30 minutes and no longer than 30 minutes. So 30-minute, giving the view from 30,000 feet, the overview of whatever the topic was. Then there would be about 5-10 minutes at the most for quick Q&A, and then they would transition. So according to the tentative schedule that I'm proposing, there would be up to 9 speakers. And it depends on whether we're hearing from the other individuals on the committee, whether we have any of the other ones firmed up. I don't know how many we actually have at this point. Maximum we could handle is 9. I don't think we're going to have 9. But if we had 6, that would probably be ideal. Why? Because Dr. Buckholz would like to have a panel. And in order to have a panel discussion, we need to have time in the schedule for that to happen. So if we had 6 speakers, there would be time for a panel discussion, at the, toward the end of the time, or we could put it wherever, but there would be time to build that in. So, I guess that's the working report that I can give at this point. I think we've made progress. There's more to do to firm things up. But I think if we have in mind 6 speakers would probably be optimal. But we could go to 9, and if we want to do a panel, then we have to figure out where exactly to put that and how to work that in.
May I please make a comment? Ma'am, with due respect, we are talking about 9 speakers. We haven't found 9 so far, and we have very little time left. We're not meeting next month. And in August, if we decide, what if we don't have these many speakers? What is the backup idea?
To have the panel, to fill in with the panel would be the backup. Well, the panel could be there no matter what, but it would fill in the time very nicely if there were 6 speakers.
I see. Okay, thank you for.
Can I make a suggestion also?
Yeah.
I would think that 6 might be enough to exceed as opposed to something historical and possibly try to exceed. That's largely because people get saturated. They get too much, they get information overload and they lose attentiveness. So my feeling is 6 is probably not a bad idea, just make it not to exceed.
So at this point,
Sorry, but
I have made contact with Linda Conover, who is both, has a business relating to caregiving and is giving a talk thereupon at the church I go to. She has agreed to be a speaker about the issue of caregiving. Remind me the name of the young woman who spoke earlier here. Kathleen, was a C or a K?
See,
And her last name?
I'll get it to you later.
Okay. I think that she might be also a potential speaker. Excuse me? The social isolation in the literal sense is a killer. The loneliness,
Yeah,
as she
okay.
acknowledged, is a 30% increased mortality. So we have the potential then of healthy aging, family caregivers, like there are 2 people who could give aspects of that. And then loneliness, isolation. So that would, if it works out that the 1, 2, 3, 4 speakers.
plus the 2 public safety.
Right.
plus to
To public safety.
fire
Two.
police.
All right, thank you.
I would imagine that they would speak together
All right.
or independently.
You will have to talk to him. That looks like Jane has a comment.
Jane, your
Jane, thank you.
Yes, it is. Is it my turn to talk?
Yes.
You're talking about the caregiving possibility for one of the speakers. You know, our county, Santa Clara County has a huge initiative about this. And the people to call to get the most current people on the topic would be Sourcewise, who I'm on their advisory board, and also they're going to be one of our vendors. They're the ones that are working with that carefully, and they know all the resources for that. So before we just think of people that we know, go to the source, which is Sourcewise, and find out, what the initiative is. It's a whole county-wide thing, and they're really working on it. They have funding for it too, unless the feds pull it. but right now they have funding.
Great.
That's
Great.
it. That's it. Thank
You have a
you.
question?
Devon and I are the couple, we're talking about the flow of the day and the structure of it. The structure is going to be dependent upon the number of speakers because they need time, and I would say that 30+ minutes is possible. Again, if we,
Okay,
We
but
need-
so
we
we need
need-
to stay on the subject.
so,
That's another topic.
okay, sorry.
Thank you. Okay, so we got the feedback, any other feedback from speakers?
I have one more.
One more, okay.
One more thing I wanted to say, and that is that we need, I thought we needed to get exercise in there for movement. And I talked to Jamie separately about involving some of the, people here who do give classes. And that was a very popular part of this one, the Cupertino one, because they offered that. They had Zumba Gold, they had chair exercises, I forget the third one they had, because they used this idea of the three different time slots, and so they had an exercise or movement component in each of the time slots. And it was very well received. So, Jamie, I know, contacted a couple of the teachers here that offer movement classes. Again, I'm sorry, I don't have all the details. I don't think anybody's firmed up yet. I think it was a matter of, did we have a speaker for that, or would it be better to do demonstrations? And her view was demonstrations would be better, and I would second that based on the Cupertino experience. So I think I'd like to be sure we have exercise in the way as well.
Wonderful.
I think that's good.
Great suggestion. All right, so any other
Yes.
discussion on,
The speaker.
on the speaker? Okay.
Just a quick calculation. If we have 3 hours of time and we have 6 speakers, that means we are having one person speaking every 30 minutes. That covers the entire time. And we have no time left for the vendors. They would be in the 3 rooms that are available, and the vendors are in a separate room. People go back and forth, so there's no Cupertino one, there was a great flow of people flowed in and out. So they would go maybe to hear a talk, then they would go to the vendor, then they would do a chair exercise. So there was a lot of flow and movement. Nobody's like sat in a chair for, 3 hours to listen to talk.
Okay,
Yeah.
but then that brings us to what Bill was talking about.
But
Yes.
that will be determined after we have the speakers set up.
Okay.
Alrighty, so I'm going to hand it back to you regarding refreshments.
Oh.
Our next item, unless any other comments regarding speakers. Okay.
It's good.
Very good.
Thank you.
So for refreshments, there is really no vote needed. I spoke with Los Altos Hills to provide us refreshments, and they very kindly said yes. Los Altos Hills will need us to give them a number, and Jamie has suggested about 200 to 250 people. And so they're going to provide a boxed meal. We've suggested that it should be not a lunch or a dinner, but a snack. So they were thinking about providing a sandwich, a drink, and like a healthy bar. But Jamie said that Los Altos will provide all the beverages. So there's no drink in the box. There's a sandwich, there's a healthy bar, and perhaps some fruit. That's it. And that will come directly. It will get delivered here at 11. They're looking at caterers. So there's no vote, it's done.
Anybody have questions?
It's not good.
Seems like a big snack to me.
Perfect. Okay. Very good. Let's see, so then we move on to. Well, it's the vendors that would be under our. Just. Our reports.
Yeah, you should do the vendor report out.
Okay, so vendors, There was a list of vendors that had been contacted. You,
No,
started,
you have it.
I have the list, and it was,
That spreadsheet, you want me to put it up?
no, it's also been handed out in the working pair reports with the vendors. So these are folks that we have talked to and are working on getting getting confirmation of their ability to, participate and be there. And I know I'm meeting with a senior somebody that is in the industry who can help us in making suggestions with contacts within the county as well as the city, and those that I want to help. That's what I like to say. And so I will have a updated, and I can send that to Jamie, who then can send it out to everyone. So that way we're not just giving you the information in August.
Question, what are the vendors expected to do at the fair?
What are the vendors expected to do with the fair? So they
I
don't
can
take.
Sure. So the vendors are expected to man the table. Our community center is providing the tables. They will the vendors will arrive at 11 to set up each table according to their plan. They'll have brochures and leaflets or maybe some other visual aids and giveaways. And there'll be a contact person with whom we have been in touch, and that person will be available at the table to answer any questions. So they will man the table at all hours during the event. That's it.
Sure. So vendors were the most exciting part of this whole thing, the health care and Cupertino. Brandon, I mean, I love lectures, you know, and I love hearing people talk and learning new things and all that, but the vendors were kind of the heart of the matter because there was so much that I didn't know about. I was, you know, the kids say blown away, right? By what I didn't know about what was available in this region for seniors and how you could access it. You know, who to contact, they all had giveaways of some sort, usually some paper things, or sometimes they had, like first aid, little first aid things you could take with you, or special beautiful flyers, very colorful. So you had information that you could put on your fridge, you know, post somewhere at home. Very, very useful. So I'm really excited that we have such a good array of vendors.
Yeah. Oh, I have that. Okay.
So then we've talked about vendors. February marketing, I think that will start up now that we've got the city able to move forward. And any discussion on marketing suggest, oh, I know, we have the town crier having an opinion off piece. And
I'm supposed to be writing that and giving that. I will do that immediately.
okay, fantastic. And any other suggestions? I know we do social media, but we can also do our own next door and help support. And then even when we get our posters and flyers, we can put them up on telephone poles. Do you know when those, now that we have, I don't, do you know when they will be available?
I do not, because we have to get that and then create it, so I don't have an exact time on it.
So would that be something that could be sent out to everybody so we could pick them up? Because I think,
So what you're asking is once the flyer is completed, we can make copies and then you can pick them up as a group
right.
and distribute, yes.
And I will say from another organization, when putting out flyers, many times you do it 2 weeks, 3 weeks in advance, not any sooner, not any
Right.
more in advance because they get torn down and they just get forgotten. So maybe even August was not it's not too late to get them to us either, because then we have an opportunity to get that, okay? But if we could have it maybe online, then we could send it out to our friends and such and circulate that way.
Yeah, I've given Jamie some ideas to patch, for example.
Yes, exactly, like next door and patch. Very good. Yes.
I'm sorry, there's something I forgot to say that I wanted to say about the vendors, because I didn't see it on your list. That maybe you wouldn't think of them normally as a vendor, but I was thinking about the library. I think the library here is amazing, and the library system in Santa Clara Valley Library system is amazing. Any book you want, they'll order it for you. They'll bring it, they'll practically bring it to your house. At no cost, they tell you about films, canopy, there's all kinds of, it's not just books anymore, as we all know, there's a lot of multimedia. So I thought maybe if the library had an opportunity to, show their wares, that would be helpful to a lot of seniors, because again, it's something I've had no idea, I've learned gradually over the years, how to use it and what all the resources are that they have. So, love that, thank you for that suggestion. All right, so then we're moving on to our work plan.
Sorry.
Can you talk about the event float now?
Oh, the event flow, okay. So we have 14 minutes.
Before we go to work plan, can we talk about the
No,
event
no,
float?
no, yes, right. Let's talk about flow.
The flow is, I mentioned, it's gonna depend upon the time that the speakers, have, and how we want to portion the time for transition between, talks. There are 3 rooms for speakers, and then the large room, it's at this room?
We have this room,
For the venue.
but the speakers, this room, the one across, and which is the third room?
Apricot and Sequoia. Manzanita, apricot, and what is this one?
Sequoia.
Sequoia. So
Manzanita.
Manzanita, apricot, and Sequoia are the 3 groups.
That's for all the activities or that's for lectures? or
Just the speakers.
The speakers, okay.
And if we do the demos, if there's the activity demonstrations, the movement, then they would be in one of the rooms too. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get that.
Yeah, the movement things, will count as a room. I still don't really have an idea of how much time we have to allow for people moving around. And I don't know whether we want some kind of social connection to, for people to network.
Yeah.
So let me pass the mic.
Thank you,
That's. So I need 3 things that we need to discuss. The first is, when people come in, they'll be coming in from this door and that door. Do we want to have registration desks? Or does everybody come to the information room? How does it work? Because one of us, I would like to be present at the registration desk, so that I can register people in, hand them out whatever bag or keychain that they're supposed to have, give them the agenda. How does it work?
I think that's up to the commission to decide, but I can give an example. When we had our open house, we did have the registration table, but we also had greeters. So one person was at the south entrance here, and one person was over here, just handing out bags and guiding people to the front desk, which was kind of the centralized area.
will we have staff doing that or does one of us?
I think, that'd probably be a discussion to talk with Jamie about in
Yeah.
terms of how you, because I think you're trying to figure out the flow
Yeah.
and you haven't figured that out yet, so.
That's what we're trying to do right now. So we will need registration. So whether a staff does that or one of us has to give time, that we need to find out. Second, where do we locate the refreshments? That's going to be important because there'll have to be a table where the caterer comes and delivers. And where we send people to keep going and getting their refreshments. The third thing is, are we getting a separate room where people will be able to sit and have their refreshment or talk with each other? This is something that we need from the staff.
I don't have the answer right now, but I know we do have outside areas where people can sit, and that's how we had it as well, open house. People are kind of coming and going, most likely. So if they're gonna grab something, check out the vendor, we've got all these areas that can be utilized.
Do you intend to use the senior facility as a possible area of lounging and getting together?
It's a potential, but I think it goes back to the
My
commission.
sense is if you should at least discuss it with them, because that's really a wonderful facility. Yeah.
So another, and you're talking with Jamie, I believe, and even was set up for food, so depending on how many speakers that are actually set up, that could be the food area, and then it could flow out, because you have a number of tables that are sitting here too, and it's not as if people will be coming and staying, I mean, they don't eat, and then they're gonna go to the vendor.
Yeah,
so
then the
it's-
seat room.
We're gonna flow.
Yeah, they'll float.
I think it's useful to have registration at both doors. Particularly since we want to have a list of people who attended, so that we can, get in touch with them for future events.
Can I make a comment on that one? My feeling is that I think the staff has its abundance of experience with this particular issue. You have done this many times. So I would defer to the staff. I think one of the scenarios that you mentioned would be greeters followed by leading people to a one central registration place, where we could do what you said, just essentially take information down, hand stuff out to them. And if you want to have their contact information, we register all that in one central place as opposed to multiple. So again, the retail plus one central registration, in my viewpoint, would work pretty well, but others will have different opinions.
Sounds good. Sounds right.
And that sounds like what we've done in the past, and
The one thing is for the event we didn't have registration. We were having people register for classes, so people just showed up. So we were just guiding people, so if that's a question that you would need to decide, are people gonna show up or are they gonna register?
No, I would really recommend that we register,
Yeah.
even if we have greeters from the staff, that's great, we need that. If we don't have anybody, I volunteer to man the registration table.
No, I think the staff can do that.
I don't know, they might be busy with other things, if so, I
I've
want
seen that
to.
done. I've been witnessing a lot of that kind of stuff going on here, because I'm here very often. So,
Vice Chair, I think you're talking about two different things. I think Bridget was talking about pre-registration in advance.
Not pre-registration.
Weren't
So,
but
we're talking about registration.
I know there are, but you were,
I-
sounded like you were talking about a different thing.
I was basically trying to figure out with events, you could do a pre-registration, or, for example, most of our events, we don't do that. People just come, because then you run the risk of, well, I didn't sign up, so I'm not gonna come.
No, we don't want any pre-registration.
no,
Yeah, so that simplifies
restriction.
things, I think, if you don't have a registration, so basically, on the commission, when you're going over your layout, where the public's gonna be coming in and out, you're having potentially greeters who are just welcoming, are they handing out the bags that you purchase? Is there a raffle?
No,
Those kind of.
no, I'm sorry.
This is just, I'm just giving an example.
Yeah, so if you say there is no registration, there's no pre-registration.
Right, you don't need
There
to.
is a registration when people are coming in to the event. Not before, on the day of.
Why?
But why do
Because
we
we
need a
want to
registration?
keep their email addresses for the future, that's why.
Okay.
Well, there's multiple reasons. That's one reason. There are other reasons. I think what we want to do is use that opportunity as a means of coordinating people. And if you have half people registering before, half people do not registering before, I think it's all getting a little bit compounded. I think what we need to do is have the greeters more or less pair the people to what the registration is.
Exactly.
And then we can do the registration, handing out the whatever ticket and trash we're gonna hand out to them. And then have them go to and guide them to where they need to go.
I think so too. I would call it maybe instead of, maybe we're getting hung up on the word registration, maybe we should call it a sign-in sheet.
Yeah.
There you go.
That people sign in when they come in.
Sign in is a better word.
On
Yeah, I
door,
agree.
the other door, they sign in and they give their name and their email.
Yeah.
And that's all, I mean, I don't think that we need anything.
And we can give them a printed agenda, so they know all the speakers, where they are, what rooms.
And I also think we need to give them the options of not getting their name and email.
That's not-
Because as seniors,
No.
I think we need to, because as a senior, I'm not gonna trust.
And
everybody.
email.
I'm not. I went to this one and I didn't have to register, I got a bag and I went around and it was information gathering. I didn't need to register.
I don't need any more emails.
So that is all part of the discussion in the flow.
I have another reason why we might want to have the sign in, and that is because we might want to get their feedback. So if perhaps if we gave people a reason, you know, we'd like you to sign in
Yeah.
because we're going to send you a survey.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
That's good. Excellent. I like that.
Often, if you would like to.
I like the word
if you would like to, and then we'll send them. a
Jamie,
survey
what do you
get
have to
their
say?
feedback.
Particularly inviting them to suggest topics that they would like to see for the next
Jamie,
event.
not say. Jamie?
Statue of Liberty play.
I'm sorry?
Statue of Liberty play.
I'm not gonna get us.
Any other discussion regarding
Um,
the flow?
I do have one
Candice.
option, so I've seen flyers where they have a QR code that says, please give us your feedback, and you could have a QR code, and that could be like your opportunity drawing, like, hey, give us your feedback, that would be your registration, and then they could win prizes if they register. So that could be another way to, an incentive to fill out the feedback form and get numbers.
Yeah, it's a thought, good thought. I have one more question. We have a bunch of things that we are going to need printed. We're gonna need our marketing materials printed. We're gonna need our agenda printed.
Yeah.
We're gonna need, things that we will place, like here is the room for speakers, put outside that this is the time the speaker will speak, this is the time the demo will happen. Do we have, since we're not gonna have a July meeting, do we have any specifications for when this has to be done? And how?
That's the logistics that staff usually works on. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but staff should be guiding us to how that takes place, because that's a support mechanism that needs to be in place. She's right.
Okay. So what generally happens is, we will either create the flyer, or I'm not sure if it's, who's creating the flyer, I think we're doing it. And then, we get it approved, and then we can print the items for you. And your subcommittee could give us feedback too.
So now we have a name of the event, date and stuff. Will you be able to create the flyer now independently, or do you need us to do anything?
I think we can go ahead and move forward with creating drafts, and then, I guess if the discussion would be, what drafts do you want us to create? So if you want us to create
Yeah.
something that has the agenda on the back, and then, we can work with your marketing subcommittee to just make sure we get everything we need, or that could come from the marketing subcommittee too.
And how will we work? since we are not meeting in July, it's going to be by email now.
Yeah.
In the month of June with all of you.
Hmm.
Who is the marketing subcommittee? You two?
I think somebody needs to work on a format, so let's make sure that we don't let that slip through. Somebody needs to work on a format of what shape the flyer is gonna look like. I mean, like this one.
Right, and that's what the staff will do.
Okay,
And
exactly.
then
So,
we'll come up with a
what is-
draft.
do we need commission involved, or is one of this team of two involved?
We can do it via email, that's what we've been doing.
Okay, got it. Thank you. That's good.
All right, any other comments? All right, so then we are on to flyers.
We're working with the work plan, you have item 3
What?
on the agenda, so senior health fair is item 2,
Oh, work
so
plan.
that's just if you
I'm
have.
gonna move that to the next meeting because this, we close to 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so.
It's 5 o'clock exactly.
It is 5 o'clock, is that?
All right, so move the item number 3 to discussion for our next meeting.
So then staff oral reports.
Staff reports, please.
Staff report, yeah.
So does the town of Los Altos Hills have any oral updates they'd like to share?
They just
Um,
left.
Oh,
I'm the only one here, I can tell you, we just had a.
Amina has something.
Okay.
yeah, we just have our 4th of July parade, coming up for the 4th of July. It's the same parade we do every year, starting at Town Hall, and then we walk over to Gardner Bullis where we just have some fun activities. And then in August, we have our, annual movie night. The movie we're playing this year is Moana 2, so feel free to bring your family out and don't forget to register.
Okay, and then from Los Altos, Chris.
Yeah, adult 50+ program brochure is updated and available. You'll find us all sorts of highlights, upcoming lunches, upcoming after lunches.
Yeah.
And more activities and gatherings.
So that's at the desk.
Correct.
Vice Chair, may I add something on the Los Altos side?
Yours.
So I just want to clarify what one of the public speakers had said, Art Whipple. So what we talked about at council briefly was about one of the council members had asked for go bags for seniors. And what the city manager explained is that Resilient Los Altos actually has a budget for that already. That they would, and I also mentioned, and this is the spoiler alert, that we've talked with aligning the commission's goals next year with council priority of emergency preparedness and this commission focusing on senior emergency preparedness and GO-KET. So so that all came up at council last week. So I kind of spilled the beans. Anyway, so that's actually being addressed, but I just wanted to let you all know that that was mentioned. And so if you hear it in a roundabout way, I've now disclosed. So I think that's for next year, though. We're not going to talk about that today.
Maybe upcoming attraction.
Coming attraction, yes.
Okay, so,
Flyers.
okay, now we have the flyers.
So, for flyers, we've got our upcoming family fun day, that the next one is June 21st. We also have our camp starting actually June 16th to August 8th. Our summer concert with the Peninsula Symphony kickoff concert is gonna be happening this Saturday, June 7th at Grant Park. And then after that, on Thursdays from 6:30 to 8 o'clock, we'll be having concerts. We will have 3 at Grant and then 3 at Hillview. And we have our flyer that has all the wonderful details. Information about becoming a volunteer. Anyone interested, please check this out. Along with our Redwood camp, we also have Camp Jelly Bean, which is for our ages 3.5 to 4 years of age. We have, let's see, the adult 50+ is going to be doing a summer concert finale on Thursday, July 31st, from 5:15 to 6:30, so that would be really fun. These are also in your packets.
Is that adult 55?
Adult 50 plus,
Yes.
that's our program.
Is that also reflected in that flyer that you have?
Correct, it's in
Okay,
here.
so, all right, thank you.
Yes. And then we've got the Hills has the 4th of July parade, which Amina had just mentioned. We are also hiring, we're hiring for the adult 50 plus program, our teen center, and also our pickleball program. And, there was also a Lifetime Achievement Award for volunteers that took place on Sunday, May 18th, 2025, from 3 to 5. It was very successful. And that is all that we have for flyers at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we're set to adjourn the meeting.
Very good.
Good, that means I
The
get
gavel.
dinner.
Okay, so.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you so much.
Who's counting?